One of the most unique things about the San Antonio SeaWorld is that their Shamu Stadium is completely enclosed. I assume it's because of the heavy temperatures that they get in Texas.
She was born right here at SeaWorld San Antonio, and her name is Sakari! Next up, you're going to meet one of our big boys. He is 16 years old and weighs over 7,000 pounds. Here is Tuar! He weighs over 9,000 pounds. Put your hands together for Kayukit. Aren't they incredible?
Now, you guys can see how different each whale is. But did you know there are even bigger differences in the wild? In fact, would you be surprised if I told you there are different kinds of killer whales? Scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different kinds of food. Now, one of the questions that we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, the answer to that will depend on which ecotype that you're talking about. Is it a 16-foot female in Iceland or a 30-foot male in Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let me hear you cheer for Tuar and Kayukit!
Aren't they just incredible? Let's see what other questions we have in here. Here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hands if you've ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Wow, that certainly is a lot of you. Then you guys should meet our dedicated animal trainers that interact with our family of whales every day. Now you've already met Jordan, but Jordan, who do you have joining us today?
I'm joined up here on stage by my friends Lisa and Laura. And they're just two members of our dedicated animal training team.
Now, our killer whale trainers are so passionate about what they do here every day. And that reminds me of another one of your great questions. Do the trainers talk to the whales? Jordan, I'll let you answer that one.
You know, that is a great question. We may not talk to the killer whales like you and I talk to each other, but we have taught them different signals, which help us to communicate with them. For example, if our trainers bend at the waist, like they're demonstrating at stage, the whales will learn to nod their heads in an up and down motion, kind of like they're saying yes. Also, if we raise our hands high above our heads, like so, the whales will mimic that behavior by raising their pectoral flippers. We can even give them a great big wave. Everybody wave! And they'll wave right back. Our ongoing communication is a vital part of building the strong relationships that we share with these animals. Because of this connection, we are able to do things like answer important scientific questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
Wow, now that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our part to the wild and back again. That way everyone benefits. Well, that sure is a lot of questions, and believe it or not, we get them every day.
We sure do, Annie. To answer your questions, killer whales communicate with each other using all sorts of sounds. In fact, let's see what our killer whale family has to say.
Now, each killer whale, each pod, has its own dialect and its own unique set of calls. Another way that they communicate is by using their bodies, as demonstrated by these peck slaps at the sides of the pool. Now, when a whale uses its body to slap the surface of the water, it creates a commotion above and below the surface. Now this individual wonders, why do whales jump? And I just happen to have that emoji. A jump like that is called a breach. It makes a sound on top of the water. It could be to just show their excitement, to display a little bit of power, or to even get the attention of the other whales. Whales communicate include blowing bubbles, bumping into each other, or even scratching each other with their teeth, causing rake marks. Those are the multi-line marks that you might see on the skin of some killer whales and dolphins. It's just one of the ways that they display dominance over one another through social interactions, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. We've just learned that killer whales use vocalizations and body language to communicate with each other. But do you guys remember how we communicate with them? That's right, through signals. Here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales, and we want the next generation to be able to do the same.
And that brings us to my favorite part of the show. We have two new friends, our special volunteer guests, down at the class with our trainers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Texas welcome to Reed with 2R over on my right, and Jay Michael with Cayuga over here on my left. And let's give them a big round of applause, guys. We're going to teach Jay Michael and Reed a little bit more about how we communicate with the whales using signals. So guys, before you begin any interaction with the killer whale, you want to say hello. So let's give them a great big wave. Look at that! Kai and 2R are waving right back to you. Great job, guys. Let's try another one. How about we try spinning in a circle, and we'll see what the whales do. Wow! They're mimicking you! That is so cool. We call that behavior a hula. All right, guys, last but not least, we're going to show Kai and 2R that special hand signal that I showed you before the show. On the count of 3, are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3! Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, Shamu Stadium is a 24-hour splash zone. Great job, guys! You communicated with Kai and 2R. As a memory of your time with Kai and 2R today, we would love for you to have these whale tail necklaces to take home with you. Let's give Jay Michael and Reed another round of applause.
scientists are probably wondering, just how much do these whales need to eat every day to stay healthy?
That's a great question. Just like us, each killer whale has their own individual dietary needs. Right here at stage in front of me, Sakari, a 6-year-old killer whale, eats 85 pounds of fish every single day. Whereas Kai, a 24-year-old killer whale who weighs over 9,000 pounds, will eat over 160 pounds of restaurant-quality fish every single day. It's important to note that all of our killer whales get all of their food no matter what they do every day.
Now, because we've been able to determine how much a killer whale eats at different stages in their lives, researchers in the field can use this information to determine if our ocean habitats are healthy enough for killer whale populations to thrive. And that type of information is invaluable.
You know, food, exercise, and routine checkups for our veterinarians aren't all our killer whales need. Each killer whale's well-being is so important to us, we want to make sure that their minds are mentally stimulated and enriched as well. If you watch all around the pool, you'll see all different types of play sessions going on. We can use all sorts of fun things to play with the killer whales and stimulate and enrich their minds. Over on my right, 2R is playing with a hoop. A hoop is a type of environmental enrichment device, or EED, that we can use to add variability and fun to the whale's days. Now don't be intimidated by the long name, environmental enrichment device. We really just mean killer whale toy. On the other side of the pool, Kai got a planter full of ice. Killer whales don't need the ice in order to stay hydrated. They actually get all of their water from the fish that they eat. But they seem to really enjoy the ice. So we make sure to add plenty of variability and fun to their day. That's just one of the things that we can use. Now, with all of the fun toys and games and even ice that we provide for the killer whales, the most enriching thing still seems to be social interaction with other members of their pod and our team of experienced trainers.
Wow, that sure looked like a lot of fun. And here's a fun question. I know all the kids out there are probably wondering, who would win if a great white shark squared off with a killer whale? Raise your hands if you think the shark would win. Okay, raise your hands if you think the killer whale would win. Awesome. All of those who said killer whales, you're right. You see, a shark hunts alone, and a killer whale hunts with a pod of killer whales. So, it's not even a competition. Killer whales have also been known to hunt blue whales. Do you know how big a blue whale is? At over 80 feet, it's the largest animal to have ever existed on the planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge animals because they coordinate, collaborate, and they cooperate. They work together as a team to overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. You know, we can learn a lot from the killer whales. In fact, if we collaborated like the killer whales do, we can change the fate of our oceans and our world. All right, guys, we've got some more questions here. These are a lot of questions we get all the time. They're really specific. So here we go. Why do some of the dorsal fins curve? That's a great question. Now, dorsal fins have no skeletal support, such as bones or cartilage, to support their height and weight. They're made completely of connective tissue. So, if an animal spends a lot of time near the surface of the water, that connective tissue could weaken, and the fin will bend. Occasionally, we see bent dorsal fins in the wild as well as here at SeaWorld. Okay, next question. Jordan, how fast can they swim?
Great question. Depending on their body weight, killer whales can reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, making them one of the fastest animals in the ocean. In fact, let's watch as Takara, the oldest killer whale in our pod and the matriarch of our pod, demonstrates her power and speed by launching herself up out of the water. She is using those powerful tail flukes to swim at top speeds. And that is just one of the many adaptations that make them the apex predator of the ocean.
Wow, that was so cool, Takara. Now we've got a couple more questions, guys. Here we go. How much water can their tails splash? Well, their tails, or flukes as they're known, are strong enough to fling a whole lot of water about halfway up these stands. Okay, last question. If all the whales were to splash all at once, could they get everyone in the stands wet? Well, maybe not everyone. It sure was. You know, killer whales are so inspiring. In fact, the more we learn about them, the more we realize that they represent so much more than themselves. Truly, to better understand the killer whale is to better understand the ocean. Never stop wondering about the natural world around you, and be sure to visit SeaWorldSanAntonio.com for your free download of our Killer Whales at Close book to share with your family and friends.
From all of us and from all of the whales, thank you for coming, thank you for wondering, and thank you for caring. Enjoy the rest of your day here at SeaWorld!